Hello and welcome back to the Second Chance to Live channel here on YouTube. I'm happy to see that you decided to stop by to watch this video presentation. Thank you. Several days ago I wrote an article what helped me to accept myself as a traumatic brain injury survivor. In today's video presentation I'm going to be sharing something that I learned through my experience of living with an invisible disability. As many of us living with traumatic brain injuries realize once our external wounds heal, we are no longer considered to be disabled, even though there are visible or invisible deficits and limitations that we have to deal with and live within. In my experience, I have found that there are different types of individuals or groups of individuals who interact with us as traumatic brain injury survivors who are living with invisible disabilities. In this particular article, part one of my struggle living with an invisible disability, I will talk about those four different groups and my experience. My desire and intention in sharing this information is to give you an insight and awareness of the types or groups of people that you may be finding yourself interacting with as you are living with a traumatic brain injury or another invisible disability which people can't see and therefore disregard. To read the article, I'll put my glasses back on and bring up the article. Again, I want to thank you for your time. You're an important part of my process. This particular video presentation and the different parts of this video presentation are a little longer, but I would really encourage you to listen to the complete video presentation as I share information in it that has benefited me and I believe will benefit you. Here's the article. My Struggle Living with an Invisible Disability, Part 1. Welcome back to Second Chance to Live. Oh, by the way, I wrote this article in August of 2007, which is about 7 years ago. I'm happy to see that you decided to take some time to visit with me. I am honored to have you here. Today, I am going to process some of the personal struggles that I experienced with you. Before I was aware of this particular struggle, I believed that I deserved to be abused and berated. I typically do not like to label or place people in stereotypes, as labels and stereotypes can be very limiting. However, in this instance, I will use groups to illustrate my struggle. As a person living with an invisible disability, I have interacted with four different types of individuals or groups of individuals over time. The first group involves people who are completely oblivious to my being a traumatic brain injury or TBI survivor, or for that matter, do not care. The second group of individuals who hear that I am a TBI survivor, but because my disability is invisible, believe that I am somehow using my invisible disability as an excuse. These individuals treat me with contempt, either overtly or covertly, because I am unable to satisfy their expectations. The third group of individuals know that I am a traumatic brain injury survivor and that my brain injury has affected me in some manner, but still want me to function as an individual without a brain injury. The individuals in the third group also believe that I use my brain injury as an excuse when I tell them that I am unable to fulfill their expectations. The individuals in the third group refuse to accept that I have legitimate limitations and deficits. When I state that I cannot do something because of my brain injury or what other people refer to as a head injury, individuals within the third group blame me for reminding them that I have a brain injury. The fourth group, individuals, thankfully realize that I am a TBI survivor and that my brain injury interferes with my ability to work with people, especially with those in the first three groups. They also understand that I am not making excuses for what I cannot do and accept and value me as a traumatic or as a friend. With the fourth group, I do not have to be more than I am, nor do I have to continue to convince them that I have an invisible disability. The second group of people give me lip service when they tell me they understand and accept that I am a traumatic brain injury survivor. Nevertheless, when I interact with the second group and third group of individuals, I feel less than because I cannot measure up to their expectations. Nothing I can do or say can convince them of my predicament, being disabled despite not appearing to be disabled. When I interact with the third group of individuals, I feel like I am between a rock and a hard place. The second group blatantly chides and ridicules me with disdain, while the third group has a degree of awareness and acceptance until individuals within the third group want me to be or give more than I'm capable of giving or being. In my experience, when members of the third group have an expectation of me, which I'm unable to achieve, I also receive ridicule and covert contempt from them. When I tell these individuals that I am unable to do more or be more than they want me to be, they want me to buy back into their denial system that I don't have a brain injury and that I'm fudging having a brain injury or a disability for that matter. The denial system includes manipulation through shame, guilt, and emotional coercion. I have spoken of this denial system throughout Second Chance to Live in many of the articles that I've written, just to share the information, not to be repetitive or redundant. I have spent countless hours attempting to disprove the reality of my disability to myself and to other people. For many years, I internalized the impact of my disability as a reflection of my being. I shamed, blamed, berated, and criticized who I was because of my inability to perform as an individual without a traumatic brain injury. I allowed my dad to treat me with contempt for many years because I did not know the significance of my traumatic brain injury, the impact of my traumatic brain injury, or my invisible disability. Per your information, I've only recently, in the past or last 5 years, come to accept that I am a traumatic brain injury survivor who has an invisible disability, and this has been a progressive degree of revelation and acceptance for me that I continue to explore. Several months ago, I turned 50. So for many years, I was led to believe that the severe injury to my brain, the brain injury, which occurred in August of 1967 when I was 10 years old, had little to do with my limitations. Rather than supporting and encouraging me through my process, my dad criticized my attempts to overcome my deficits and limitations. Good was rarely good enough for him during many years of his life. Currently, I have the above third group dynamic taking place in my life with family members. Although my dad passed away on January 10, 2007, I am continuing to be affected by the legacy of his denial. Some of my family members still want me to do more and be more than I know that would be good for any of us. My family still has unrealistic expectations of me, despite my reality. However, I'm no longer willing to allow those demands or expectations to rule my world. Even though I spent a lot of time logically explaining to them why I cannot fulfill their expectations, they continue to be angry with me. In essence, my family want me to, again, buy into their notion that I should not be affected by the injury to my brain. I've reached a point in my life where I'm unwilling to buy back into anyone's denial system. I spent too many years of my life berating who I am because I did not measure up to someone's unrealistic expectations. Today, my good is good enough. I am okay with me, and I accept myself as a man who is living with a traumatic brain injury, the impact of a traumatic brain injury, and an invisible disability. I will create parts 2, 3, and 4 of this video presentation in the next several days. I would encourage you, my friend, as I need to remember, please do not give up on yourself, a loving God of your process, because more will be revealed in time. The pieces of the puzzle will come together in the correct order and at the right time. I'll say so long for now. Have a great day, and God bless both you and your family. So long now.